release party for Don Ringle's new album, Library of Death. I'm your host tonight, and my name is Acidś from Acidś Trip, and we're here to celebrate the new album and have a question and answer session with Don Ringle. Cheers, guys! Cheers! Alright, okay, so first of all, congratulations to the new album, Library of Death.
Thank you very much.
And I've seen quite a few reviews of the album with an average of 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
That's great, guys.
Yes.
And my thoughts about the album is that it's a great album, and I love the song, My Funeral Song. And I must say, Thomas, I'm impressed of the vocals.
Thank you.
It's great. And we're here today to talk about the album, and we have some questions from the fans. But I want to start off with a presentation of the band members. So, Patrick, will you do the honors?
Yes, I will. Patrick, and I'll play the bass in the band.
Jens, and I handle the rhythm guitars.
Hans, play the drums and sometimes trumpets.
Patrick, and I play one of the lefty guitars.
And my name is Tommy, and I play the other lefty guitars.
And Thomas, vocals.
Okay, guys, here's the album Library of Death. And I want the band members to talk about the recording process and a bit about the album cover. Patrick, do you want to describe the process?
Yep. We recorded the album early January this year at Grand Recording, which is just on the other side of the road here. And the producer is Joona Hassinen from Studio on the Jord, who has done a lot of good recordings and good productions. So we thought that this guy, we have to work with him this time, because we wanted a bit bigger sound, a bit more raw feeling to it and all that, and he's really good at that. And we started off with drums and rhythm guitar. All those are recorded live.
Yep.
And then after that, there was these little guys doing their ding-ding work with their little fluffy guitars.
Yeah.
Ding, 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 ding.
And even Gig plays some guitar.
Yeah. He does a little bit on the album on guitar as well. He's the real musician in the band. And then for the solo parts for the guitar and for the vocals, they're done at your studio up in Kortedala, Göteborg. And then Joona took everything to his studio, and he was in Norrköping, and now he mixed it there, and we had some friends as well who did some other instruments on the album, like cello, violin, hurdy-gurdy,
Really?
nyckel, harpa, churchorgan,
Yeah.
yes, and everything.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So what do you think about it? Is it happy with the sound, the production?
Yeah, I'm really
Yes.
happy with the sound. Yes. It's good.
Yeah.
And can you tell me something about the writing process? Was it a hard album, a hard piece to write, or did it come to you naturally?
It was kind of hard at first.
But every tone on the guitar.
Every tone on the guitar. Yeah. Can't you put in more tones in that song?
Yeah.
As you said on one song, like Necromancer. Now I write most of the songs, and I write them on bass. So that's quite of a backward writing process. So I show the band the songs from the bass
lines.
point of view. And then these guys have to sit down and think, it's not a guitar riff, what should I do now?
And we need three
But
horns as well.
but the cool thing is that you are an old bass player.
Originally, I'm a bass player.
So you and me, we work together, so we're almost like two bass players in the band. And then the fluffy guys do their
Yeah,
things.
doing the harmonies and stuff. Yeah.
I'm also fluffy.
Lots of fluffy, yes, you are. But the writing process, we started off almost directly after the first album was released, March 1, 2019. And it took 1.5 years till today to release it. So it was a lot of work.
Yeah.
And the lyrics, I wrote them in the mountains and on the lakeside, so in Norway.
Cool.
To get this vibe about nature, evilness, goblins, and everything that is up in Norway.
That's really cool. And I got a question too about the album. Does it have a theme? Because when I listened to, I got a preview of the album, and my thoughts about it was kind of theatrical. My point of view was like Alice Cooper meets King Diamond meets Doom, but I want to hear your thoughts about.
Alice Cooper.
I think it's
Yeah.
I think it's really intentional. I mean, we didn't think about like okay, let's talk about one thing from song 1 to 7. Nothing. So it's kind of intentional.
Mm.
When we started off, we had a concept for the band, and that was the lyrics should be about horror and
Yeah.
evil minds
And death.
and death.
Yeah.
Nothing else. So no happiness, no
No.
flowers.
The good stuff.
Yeah.
The good stuff in at least this year with the Corona
Mhm.
times.
Yeah.
And the cover is Henrik Jakobsson, Art of Hank. We sent him the lyrics for Library of Death, and he had kind of
3 ideas or something.
Yeah. And he sent this, and we, of course, it's a little bit forth and back about what should be there and not, and he's amazing. So this is really Library of Death.
Yeah. Alright guys, we're gonna continue with some questions from your fans. Your fans have sent in some questions from Facebook and via mail. And we got a first question from Matthias. Did you find your sound on the first album, or have you updated for this album? In that case, what? And I think Matthias means like gear, studio, member, staff, to compare the first album with the second album, Library of Death. And I wonder, Jens, do you want to take the question?
Okay, well, first of all, we kind of updated on the members in the band in the writing for this album, because in the beginning of the first album, when we started recording, Pepe was just joining the band, so that album is written for 2 guitarists, but this album is mainly written from the grounds for 3 guitarists. And we also updated on the producing side or engineering side to Juna, because we wanted a more modern,
Full of bigger sound.
bigger sound, and he's good with that, I think.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
really good.
So yeah, that's kind of the update.
Gear-wise, I don't know.
Yes.
New studio.
Yeah,
the
the new
first-
guitars.
I had to buy new guitar because the old ones got stolen.
Oh yeah!
Yeah.
So you recorded with the D, the second album,
Yeah.
and the first was the SG.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I played SG on the
The-
first album
and
and the
the
second, but it's a different SG on the second album.
Yeah. And I,
So and the amp is different as well because I recorded with a Mesa Boogie, the first album, and a Marshall on the second.
Okay.
yeah.
Because my Marshall was borrowed to somebody else, and I
Alright.
got it back. So
Yeah.
that's basically it. And one pedal, I think I changed to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, are you aiming for a more metal sound on the second album?
I don't think we're aiming for more metal, but heavier, darker, gloomier.
I
more
like
volume.
big overdrive sound.
Yeah.
Mm.
And
So
big Marshalls and
he's the
Big
thrash
Marshalls.
guy. So, but it kind of,
Works
it bends together.
yeah.
I think the drums are bigger on his second
Yes.
album.
Different drums.
Different.
Different
Not
drums?
the drums, of course, but
First
now,
album
play,
was-
now play maple drums on this one, and on the first one played Vistalite, and I think this sound it's bigger on this one.
More organic.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Somewhat
True.
timeless.
Yeah. Kind of.
And the theme of the lyrics, I'm just curious, because you spoke about horror, like a horror theme. Is that the same type of theme when you write the lyrics?
Yeah, I write the lyrics.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. I got inspiration, as I said before, from the forests and the lakes. But also when I see a movie or something, I have to stop the movie. I hear a line or something. Wow, that was a cool line. I just write it down, and then after a while, I sit down and start working around that. And I mean, like, Reverend on Many Faces is about the priests, the Catholic priest, and they have one face towards their audience and the people in the community. But on the other hand, they have an agenda behind them that is really dark, like the pedophilia thing about the Catholic priest, and yeah. So that is one kind of way I think about the horror thing. My funeral song is a really scary one because it's a true story, and that is it was about a friend of mine had a girlfriend and she had cancer and she was about to die, and she put on Facebook that, please can you choose my funeral songs that they can play on my funeral, and everybody sent in ideas about that, and I was really sad about it, and I'm gonna die in a couple of months and everything. And then a couple of months later we discovered it was all a lie. She didn't have cancer at all.
Oh my.
So my friend was really sad, and they broke up, of course, and everything. So it's a true story, and that is also kind of an evil mind playing with people.
That's scary. True horror.
Yeah, that is the worst ones.
And of course, Botte, you listen a lot to Alice Cooper.
No. Okay. King Diamond.
Question from Micke. You all come from widely different musical backgrounds with roots in the Gothenburg scene. What experiences and lessons have you learned, and what have been the most important in moving forward with Don Ringle?
Well, the experiences we have with other bands is that we are kind of good to adapt, because my personal view is that I haven't played with 3 guitars in a band before. I always been single player, so it was a bit of a challenge to come to this big band to play with.
Single guitarist, you have to like cover a lot of ground.
Yeah.
When you're like 3 guitarists, you have to like
One note song.
one note. So yes, it's like one skip up, 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 up. And think about what the other guys are doing.
Yeah.
Especially in the solo part too, you know?
Yeah.
Because the songs are so many notes, and when you like build solos, you have to like, does this solo fit with the other notes that's doing the rhythm parts? So it's kind of a very different process.
Yeah, you can't go too many.
You have not that
Yeah.
freedom with 3 guitars.
No,
No.
right. No.
Exactly. So you're more like stay in your box, and so
Yeah.
a lot of things is
Do
thought
not,
out.
do not bend too much.
True.
No vibrato.
No vibrator.
And less is more. Tommy.
More is more.
No, that's not true. More is always more.
More is always more.
But
So,
you played in a 3-piece band before, or what was it, 4-piece?
Well, I have played in a 4-piece band before that. That's true, actually. I played as a, I have played with another guitar.
Oh, okay.
I come from poetry.
Other than that, I played
Yeah, me too.
by myself.
I come from Lotus, and we were 3.
Yeah.
And the guitar is a normal freedom.
Yeah.
And, now we're 6 people in this band.
Yeah.
so far.
So good.
But Hans, that is quite an interesting thing that you're saying here. Is it more difficult to be a power trio or to be a power sixlet?
It's a hard question. I don't know really. It's like I said, it's more freedom to play a 3-piece band, and it's funnier in another way because you can do so much. This is heavier, of course.
Yeah. For me, it is also that it's really, when we write the songs, I write them and we arrange them together, they're really set in stone. We play like this. There's no space to space out and to jam. It's nothing like that. It's like playing like a classical piece almost. You start there, you dance there, and this happens. Nothing else. So that's a big difference, and that's something I really have to think about. I think.
Yeah.
structure.
And as you said, no bend, no vibrator because
You have to do your part very well.
Yeah, we're down tuned to C,
Yeah.
so the strings are a bit of loose. So if you bend anything, it's really destroys the song. It gets off key.
Yeah,
Really
of
easy.
course, especially the G string.
Yeah. and one thing is also that in this band, I think we decided to focus really hard to do this together, work hard, and don't slack too much. Just work. And I think when you play in other bands before, it's always someone just sitting home drinking coffee.
Yes.
But I think we try to make it work better in this band.
Everybody has to focus much harder. Do their part as well.
Yeah.
You have to do that. Yeah.
Maybe Thomas can help me.
I am GG in Swedish. It's sort of a two-part story. It stands for Gentle Giant, which is one of my absolute favorite bands. Did this tribute to them in '92, and yeah, after that I actually gained some weight and weighed over 150 kilos, so people started to call me Gentle Giant, and after that it became GG, as in Swedish, GG, and that has been my name for
Since 92.
almost 20 years.
And
So
the fun thing is when you go to concerts or gigs in Gothenburg, people ask, "How you play in the band?" "Yeah, I play with the GG." "Wow, you play with GG." Everyone knows who's GG is in Gothenburg.
in Gothenburg.
And almost in Sweden as well, because of your past. But, yeah.
That's really cool. Thank you. And I can tell that you guys have a common love for beer, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
And we have a question from Ulrika. What are your favorite beers, and are you planning on releasing a Don Ringle beer?
Yes.
Yeah, this is the beer man.
Right, the beer store. Brewmaster. Actually, we had our own beer at our first gig, right in this
Release for the first album.
release for the first album. This is Don Ringle, which is made by Gothenburg, Göteborgs nya bryggeri, by Linus. And it was a real nice one. And favorite beers?
Don't even.
Don't even start it. But
It's like guitars.
right now I'm drinking this one, Dale's. It's my go-to everyday beer. I also like this one from Bibliothek, A Moment of Clarity. It's a session IPA that is really nice, everyday beer. And when you want something to happen, you can have this from Gothenburg Brewing. Also Linus' own brewery. It's a double IPA with some more action in it. It's good, and all the other beers as well.
Question from Ron, and it's about the single MBK. And MBK isn't a typical Don Ringle song, so why did you choose it as your first single?
It had to do with when we started rehearsals, like for the first album. We did some warm-up things, and that riff came up, and we used the riff as a warm-up song, basically. And then somebody said, "Wow, it's a good riff, and maybe we should make something out of it." And so we started like developing it, and it actually became the song MBK. So it ended up on the album because we thought it was good, but it was not really us. And actually, for the first video for the Library of Death album, we said, okay, let's do the first video. What should we do? Yeah, everything except MBK. So we got in touch with our video producer, and he listened to all the songs, and he said, I want to do MBK. And we said, what? So that's why it became the first video as well. So
But it's a short song,
yes,
so it's perfect for.
started
just
from a
4
rehearsal
minutes.
warm up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Started with a warm up, ended up a song and a video.
yeah. Just to get the rock and rollers into doing.
Yes.
Not a Rush song. So.
Who's the most stubborn in the band?
Me?
I am.
Me? No. I am stubborn. I
It's
am.
kind of a tough question. What is the vision for the band? Where will you guys be in 2 years?
Wow. Wow. Yep.
I'll start off with this one, I think. 2 years from now,
Third album out.
third album out, definitely. And I do hope that we can do a tour during the fall for 3 weeks and spring tour and festivals during the summer. I don't think anyone in this band want to do it for full time, but we want to do it more than we do it now. And to be honest, we had a lot of things planned, but this little virus came that we all know about now, COVID. So we had a tour. We are on tour right now, guys.
Yeah.
Right now, I think we are in Austria
Nice.
or Hungary.
Rock and roll.
With
with-
Pentagram, right?
With Pentagram, we should support them for 2 weeks with some festivals, we should have been started at Headbangers Open Air July 24th, and it got cancelled. At least we thought. Then we had a new tour coming up in this fall again with Pentagram, a lot in Sweden and Norway. That got cancelled, and so now we have a tour on our own in January coming up, 9 dates, and then I saw on Instagram that we are booked in Leipzig August 12th next year with Pentagram. We never heard of this, but okay. So probably the booking agency Vibra and Klaus rescheduled the whole tour
Oh.
1 year, and that's cool. So that's the next thing, big things coming up, and we have a couple of gigs coming, small things coming in September, do a stream gig and all that when the vinyl is here as well, because that is a bit delayed. Our album label is from Italy, so it's their vinyl is delayed with 1 month, but it's coming. But the vision, I don't know, what do you think, guys, about the vision? What are your thoughts about?
Keep on playing, keep on touring.
Have fun.
Yeah.
Be in process and progress.
We talked about doing next album next summer.
Yeah.
So probably we'll start the new writing process this fall already, and do a pre-production next spring and record next summer. Release 2022. Yeah.
In the beginning of 2022.
So have fun, play much live, do records.
Really miss it. Drink beer.
Yeah.
To play live.
Yes,
Really. It's, for me, it is doing a record is just to have something to show to people. It's fun to record, but the main thing is to play live. So the record is something to get the opportunities to play
Yeah.
live.
Way there.
To
Yeah,
showcase the music and get out.
You know the drill.
Yeah.
Play live with 6 friends and a whole lot of people from it. It's the best.
Sounds great. Thank you. Don Ringill, and he also wants to know how the band was formed.
Well, short story. Me and Birgit decided, we played together before,
and in a band called Doomdogs, and we decided after that band that we want to do something again together, and we decided the name should be Don Ringle, and that's, what do you think? It's because of Jethro Tull. We love Jethro Tull.
Bullshit.
And he has this tattoo, so you can show that. So that's how much he loves Jethro Tull. And it's from North Sea Oil album, Don Ringle, who has the Scottish name.
Don Ringle.
Don Ringle. And we decided, then me and Hans played the Order of Israfel, and we took a break.
Yeah,
The band.
We are. We did.
We are on a break, 3-year-long break.
Yeah.
And then I sat down and I called Gaby, should we start a band now? And yeah, why not? And I asked Hans, would you join this new band? He said, if I have to, I can. If I can play some Alice Cooper and Link
Some rock.
And then we found new members and then we started the band. And the idea was to do kind of from the beginning thrash, doom, Jethro Tull music. But with the thrash thing fell off the wagon when I started writing songs because it was doom and folk music, and mostly Nordic folk music. That got into this. So that's probably, that's the story.
Steve wants to know a little bit about your band's arsenal because you have 3 guitars in the band, right? So, does it make it difficult when you play on stage, and how come 3 guitarists?
3 guitarists came about that Jens had a small accident and he was not available. So I was the stand-in, and basically when he came back, we thought that it could be a nice thing to try, 3 guitar players, and we like the sound. So challenge is of course that we have to fit 3 guitars together, like tonal wise. But I think we do.
And on stage.
Yes.
Small stages are a bit of a challenge
Yes,
to
it is. So,
manage.
so the first gig that we did, it was a little chaotic because me and Jens were standing close, and the necks were like, because I'm the lefty, Tom is lefty, and Jens plays right-hand guitar. So, but then suddenly we changed, and so now we have a bass player and a guitar player on one side and 2 lefties on the other side, and it makes the invertible V.
Yeah.
Cool.
The bass is on one side and the guitarist is on the other.
Yeah, but it was not intentional to have 2 lefty guitar players. But we're better on Candlemass because they only had 1 left.
Yeah.
We have 2. Right, guys?
Do you need to enter?
You need the card with your bank account number and PIN code, and I need the 3 little digits on the back of the card.
Send that to us and you're welcome.
That's
And we
right.
also got a question concerning Iron Maiden. Who's the better guitar player in Iron Maiden?
No, Adrian!
Steve Harris. Of
Obviously.
Course. Oh, of course.
Or Dennis Stratton. Nico McRae.
So Yannick, the answer? Yeah. Yannick Gibbs. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. So guys, we're gonna wrap this thing up with a last question. Who is the better dancer? Okay, so everybody, thank you for watching. The last thing, Don Ringle has got some new merch. If you want to enter a competition, write a comment in the section below to win the t-shirt. Thank you!